And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our featured table of the day 3 of Metro Card Club's Christmas Special Tournament. 5 million guaranteed. We started with a total of 336 players, and now we are down to the last 17 players of the tournament. 8 of them are here at our featured table, and we will give you a rundown of our protagonist in this featured table as I try to get the names. You have at seat 1 the lone, I think he is the only remaining foreign player still in contention. Our player from France, Dre Nicolas, with 300, started this table with 374,000. At seat 2, one of the 5 wanted Rivera brothers, that's including me. Sardi, Erdale, Putoy, Rivera, the chief leader of this table with 1.5 million. On the third seat is Marcel Bart Servito with over a million. Fourth seat is Jose Colada with 581,000. On fourth, on seat number 5, it's Edgar Asihan with 936,000. Seat number 6, the ever dangerous Eman Segismundo, also with over a million in chips. Seat number 7, the fresh Poker Stars Mega Stack main event champ BJ Perez with 732,000, and rounding up this fine, it is 8 players is the comebacking czar Ian Marcos with 1.5 million, almost the same. Hold on, a quick check of our chip count. It is Ian Marcos who is actually the chip leader of this tournament, just up by a few thousands over Sardi Rivera. Okay, so I am your caster this evening. My name is Jester Intia, and I will be joined later on by some members of our Team Pro. Some of them are still battling it out in the last 17 players. This is a 5 million guaranteed. And up top, the champion of this tournament will be an instant millionaire, taking down around 1.2 million in cash prizes. As we can see, as we can also hear the friendly banter of our 8 players on the table. As Action is being folded now to Dre Nicolas on the big blind, and I think that's a walk given by Ian Marcos to Dre Nicolas. Ian Marcos deciding not to be creative with his 6-4 offsuit hand on the small blind position. Early shout out to our live stream viewers. Ray Bagyo Osete, the dangerous Bagyo Osete, the current player of the series champion. Player of the series of the recently concluded RVS Cup here at Metro Card Club. Thank you for watching, Bagyo Osete. This is our featured table only. Our featured table, and I'll try to bring in some members of the Metro Team Pro later on to join me in trying to give insights on the action on this featured table. This is a very, very good combination, good cast of characters actually for a featured table. All of these players at any given time can take down a championship. Most of these are multi-titled. You have on your screen right now with the action, Potoy Rivera, who is a past APT champion, a holder of many trophies, many achievements. You have Jose Colada, a back-to-back Poker Stars champion. You have Eman Sigismundo, an APT champion himself. Of course, Edgar Asihan is a familiar face, champion and runner-up to Mike Takayama in the past APC. BJ Perez, as I've said, fresh champion of Poker Stars Mega Stack. And Ian Marcos, who is coming out of his semi-retirement to gain back lost glory of the past. Deck Cruz is saying Bart Servito, a grizzly veteran of Metro tournaments. Deck Cruz, one of the proponents of PSP, ManilaTonight.com, Poker Stake Philippines. Deck Cruz. There is another, this is actually the last two tables. The other table you can see in your background, also featuring a lot of Grizzly tournament veterans. As we see, Jose Colada deciding not to play his hand and pointing to the cameras. He doesn't want to give that impression that he has a very wide racing range. But Eman Sigismundo is not ashamed nor afraid of raising these hands, this type of hands. Ace 4 off folded to him under the gun +1, +2 rather. And the Mega Stack champ deciding to play safe and lets go of his pocket fives. He probably doesn't want to flat in that position since there's a lot of people who will be acting behind him. And if anybody 3-bets that hand, that is something that he won't be able to defend. So action is folded now to the big blind, Bart Servito, with King 10 off. A hand that he can probably look Eman Sigismundo up, and that's what he did. Sorbito calling the race of Segismundo and getting a favorable flop, hitting top pair. Let's see how he will decide to play this. Remember, it is Eman Sigismundo who opened this action.
Bar check.
As expected, Bart checking. We might see a flat here, or if Bart wants to redefine the strength of his hand early, he might opt for a raise, but he only decided to call.
Bar check.
This is a difficult hand for Bart because now his 10 is no longer the top pair on the board. The board have considerably improved.
One bet. 200. 202.
And the Eman fires his second barrel, a 200,000 bet, and that is something that's the difficulty of that position for Bart. Even though he flopped up pair, he's not really confident if his kicker of king is any good because it's Eman Sigismundo who opened the action, and Eman could easily have ace-10 in that position. Plus, the board had improved on the turn, so favorable turn for Eman Sigismundo. Bellamy Belisa is railing for Edgar Asihan. Go, 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 Kuya Edgar. Shout out to our OG, Kent Del Rosario. Thank you for watching, sir. Hope to see you soon in our tournament circuit. Baguio Sete railing for Edgar Asihan, Ian Marcos, and Eman Sigismundo.
90.
BJ Perez opening the action here under the gun +2, raising 90,000 with Queen Jack off. Action now on Dre Nicolas, 7-8 suited. Not good enough for him to look up BJ Perez. Ace-7 suited for Putoy Rivera. He can play this because he's at the button, or even raise this or 3 bets BJ Perez's opening.
30 call.
But he decided to make use of his position and just flats here at the big blind with 7-6 suited. I think Jose Colada is already priced into call here.
What's a call? 3 players. First up.
A flop gives BJ Perez an inside straight draw, although it gave Sardi Rivera the top pair, but Jose Colada
Jose all in.
flopping a flush draw and deciding to overplay this hand, shoving all in for a total of 451,000 for his tournament life. BJ Perez is already out of this hand. He folded as soon
401.
as Jose Colada announced he is all in.
Jose all in, total 401.
This is almost half the
401.
stack, or no, 1/3 of the stack of Putoy Rivera. Putoy sitting at around 1.5 million. Jose Colada shoving all in for all of his 451,000 as we see a call from Putoy Rivera. And Rivera needs to fade any clubs that Jose needed.
7.
As we see our floor man announcing the action in our venue. Jose Colada, all in for his tournament life. The Jack of Diamond is no help. And the River of Five. And that's it for Jose Colada exiting the tournament at 17th place. And Putoy Rivera pads his already big stack.
One big blind.
I think he is now around 2 million with that with the additional stack courtesy of Jose Colada, who is eliminated already, exiting the tournament at 18th place. Of course, the last 18 players were awarded already on top of the payout that they'll be getting now. All of them have been assured of a main event seat for the upcoming 3 million Philippine Poker Tour tournament that's going to happen on next year, January of 2023. The first tournament for the new year for Metro Card Club. As we'll try to get you a copy of the payout.
Postcard to a clubs.
A copy of the payout. And okay,
Eman Race.
we just need to, we'll ask a screenshot of the payout so that, okay, you have to, yeah. Okay, there you go.
Sardipol.
I'm sure a new player will join this table because we're gonna balance. They're down to
One big blind.
okay, just to check that Jose Colada exited at 17th place. Yes, that's correct. 17th place. So we're down to the last 16. 8 players apiece.
952 hearts.
Shout out Ricky Singapan. Daniel Santiago, shout out. Nakita ko yung lasan mo kagabi. Kaninong lasan? Jason Sonsa, shout out. We're now at last 16 players. 8 per table. Daniel Santiago, unfortunately, Mark Rivera is already out of the tournament. CJ Rivera, rooting for his dad, Putoy Rivera. Shout out to you, CJ Rivera. Daniel Santiago, Mark Rivera is already out of the tournament. Shout out to you, Ye Chi Espino. Fung Ye Chi Espino. Alright. Let's see who they will balance the table with. I think there's also another player out as we will double check the remaining players.
Very light lang yung pagpinta natin.
Kasi magpapalit ng card.
Huwag masyadong pa-DN. Huwag masyadong yung card. Okay na, ako na.
Kala namin tokens eh.
We were just advised we're down to the last 14 players, so no player will be transferred to this TV table. The last 2 tables are balanced with 7 players each.
BJ fold. Ian fold. Dre fold.
Shout out to you, LJ Nugid and Jonathan Argamosa of Cavite.
Sardi race, total 100. Bart.
And Putoy Rivera racing this on the hijack position with pocket 4s. He will sure to get action from Edgar Asihan, who just looked at his whole cards and saw Ace Jack off on the small blind
Edgar all in.
and announced he is all in for almost a million.
Eman fold.
Sigismundo folding his queen deuce off and action back to the original racer who just took out Jose Colada.
146.
He just busted out Jose Colada
946.
and asking for a count, getting the answer 946,000
Total
on top.
946.
That's 846 on top of his 100,000 raise. Putoy Rivera sitting at almost, I think, over 2 million in stack right now.
John and Martin for table 5.
That's almost half of his stack.
30 fold.
So Putoy will not engage Edgar. Holding his pocket 4. I think that's a very good fold for Putoy Rivera. He doesn't want to risk half of his stack, almost half of his stack, to Edgar, especially holding some relatively mediocre hand of pocket 4s. As we welcome the 1,300 viewers of our live stream, welcome, and you are watching the day 3 featured table of the Metro Card Club 5 million guaranteed Christmas special happening here at the Metro Card Club here in Ortigas, the home of Philippine poker champions, and one of them, Ian Marcos, looking at his hand under the gun with ace 10 off, something that I'm sure he will open with.
Ian raise. Total 90,000.
As we hear Dealer Joy announcing Ian racing with 90,000, hold your horses, Dre Nicolas with a pair of queens, announcing he is all in, a 3-bet shove, also in the early position for Dre Nicolas,
Guard fold.
374,000. Marcos sitting on 1.6 million. Edgar Asihan with pocket 9s. Wow. Let's see. Remember, only us have the benefit of seeing their whole cards. So to Edgar Asihan, this is something that he will surely think about. The only thing that will help Edgar in making his decision is the fact that this is a 3-bet shove of Dre Nicolas on a relatively early position
Kasi hindi naman siya gumalaw.
as a response to the under the gun race of Ian Marcos. Let's see how Edgar Asihan decides to play this one out.
Edgar call.
Edgar calls. Wow. Easy fold for Eman Sigismundo. Easy fold for BJ Perez with ace 8.
Ian fold.
And Ian Marcos folding, showing his ace 10 off. And Edgar Asihan, seeing that his card is dominated, 2 outers for Edgar Asihan to take away this hand,
Flop is king of clubs, king of diamonds,
as
ace of spades.
Ian Marcos is kicking himself in the head right now, seeing that he actually hits his ace, and it's good right now. But of course, with ace 10 off, that's an easy fold for Ian Marcos, given the action as Dre Nicolas's queens holds, and a much needed double up for Dre Nicolas, jumping to close to a million right now.
If he fold,
Edgar Asihan getting hit considerably. But still, 752,000 in stock for Edgar Asian. That's about 18 BBs, as you can see in the graphics in front of you.
Okay, please watch
Jaime de la Cruz, shout out to you. The up and coming Jaime de la Cruz, good game in the tournament. Keep on improving. Lampasan mo pa yung kuya mo na si Mac de la Cruz. Ayan. Tong Ignacio, Ray Osete, naging fans ka na lang.
190 to call eh, wala na eh.
Oo, darating din ang panahon. Ernest Tan, no, this is not yet the final table, sir. This is just the featured table. We are down to the last 14 players. So this is the remaining two tables, 7 players each, and half of those 14 rather, half of those 14 is here at our featured table. One of them, Edgar Asihan, opening the action with King Queen suited. Of course, Edgar just took a considerable hit from Dre Nicolas, the player from France. Eman Sigismundo opting not to engage only with ace-10 off. BJ Perez with pocket 3 going over the top of the race of Edgar Asihan, and Asihan with a quick fold to BJ Perez. So Edgar Asihan, who's been running hot since day 2, he busted a lot of players. One of them, the go to Philippine Poker, Mark Rivera, falling on the hands of Edgar Asian on day 2. Folded to Eman Sigismundo now at the cutoff position with ace-8 off. Definitely this is gonna be a race from Eman, knowing the gameplay of this very, very aggressive player. BJ Perez again with the small pockets. Remember, he 3-bet shoved on Edgar Asian earlier with pocket 3s, but he is at the button right now. Let's see how he decides to play his small pairs.
DJ re-raise. Total 290.
So BJ Perez with a 3-bet of 290,000. That's 200 more. And look at this. Ian Marcos with Cowboys on the small blind. What an action table we have right now here on our featured table. Ian Marcos with 1.5 million in chips. BJ Perez, including the amount he raised, is sitting on over $500,000.
Ian re-raise. Huh?
And this will be an easy fold for Eman Sigismundo, who initiated this action with ace-8 off.
Total 690.
But now, faced with the 4-bet, faced with the 4-bet from the small blind,
Eman fold.
and action is now back to BJ Perez. He is now in an all-in situation to call. He is all in to call now with this 4-bet of 690,000 from Ian Marcos. I think BJ is experienced enough to let go of this pocket 4. I don't think he will engage Ian with just pocket 4 considering this is already a 4-bet from the small blind position. As we are now, we will be joined by one of Metro Team Pros. Remember, I think he also ran deep in this tournament. Halika na.
Bench dealer.
Ayan. So ladies and gentlemen, joining me in the panel is a member of Metro Team Pro. So he's just putting on his headset. Okay. All right. As we welcome in our panel member of the Metro Team Pro, and he exited at the 20th place, no? Tama. Of course, we have with me Jimmy Yats Xavier. Jimmy Yats Xavier. Ayan. Yats, good evening. Ito nakita natin, no? Eman Sigismundo opened with Ace 8. 3 bets si BJ Perez, pocket 4. 4 bets si Ian Marcos, pocket king. So, alam natin si BJ experience enough na tumapon sa ganong aksyon.
Oo naman.
Oo. Napanood mo ba yung all-in ni Jose Colada kanina?
Ay,
Yung flash draw. Oo. So, would you do that same line? Would you take that same line?
Baka hindi.
Kasi tatlo pa no? Dalawa pa yung dadaanan niya eh. So, eto. Si Edgar, although marami siyang magagandang baraha, pero hindi siya ganun ka-successful. Tinamaan siya ng malaki kanina ni Dre Nicolas. So, he decided na wag nang i-baby tong Ace King off. Ayan. Blinds at 25,000, 50,000, ante of 50,000.
May ground yata ito.
Naririnig mo?
Parang.
May well as our technical guys, may ground daw yung Eto, subukan mo. Ano yan? O nga no, nasaan mic yan? Okay. Ayan, inaayos lang natin yung headset ni Yat Xavier.
Hindi naman ako masyado magsasalita, makikinig lang
Ayan.
ako sa'yo.
Ikaw nga magbibigay ng insight eto. Ayan, 652,000, open shove ni Edgar Arcean, folded to Putoy Rivera, the big blind, king, queen off.
Maybe fold.
Ayan, discipline fold for Sarge Rivera. Alam mo, madaling mag-comment para sa atin kasi
Pag nakikita natin yung
pag nakikita mo yung
Oo
baraha,
naman.
no? Pero mga kaibigan, tsaka sa live stream viewers natin. Pero remember guys, wala silang ka-idea. Ang daming range na pwede nilang isipin, di ba? Especially itong mga to, halos alam na nila ang laro ng bawat isa.
Sa tagal na nila
Diba? Matagal nang magkakalaro to. Eto sa ating mga live stream viewers, sabi ni Jonathan Argamosa, humarap ka na raw. Seyos Sigismundo, Yats, pa-orderin mo na si Eman, baka nagugutom. Seryoso ang laro ng Kuya Eman natin, ha? Ito, shoutout mo raw. J. Joseph Hernandez.
Shout out kay Doc.
Shoutout Kuya Hayat Xavier. Zaira Soleb. Shoutout Boss Abel Pilayo. Uy, ng team, oo.
Team Cebu.
Si Boss Abel, big winner yan. Kagabi ata nung isang gabi. Shoutout sa'yo, Boss Abel. Mark Opera, last 14 players to. Last 14 players. Ito lang yung featured table. Yung Hu John. Cup ng Korea, Kuya Yats. Oo. Korean Cup. Ito ang totoong the Black Korean. Di ba? Okay,
Kuya
DJ
Jun ang-
Carbonel. Okay, yes. Uy, shout out, Boss Willie. Ablola, Boss, just next time na tayo. Next time na tayo, Boss Willie. Next time na tayo. Ayan, as we return to the action.
Ian race. 101. Cut off.
Oo, folded to the cutoff. Of course, ito, pang-raise talaga to pag nasa cutoff ka. Win 9
May
off.
para si
Yun nga lang.
Bart.
Nataon na may baraha si Bart Servito.
All
At
in.
syempre, yan ang ibabalik talaga ni Bart sa'yo. Yan yung, etong mga pocket tens, pocket jacks, maraming nagsasabi napakahirap, parang hindi ganun kadaling laruin.
Totoo
Oo.
yan. Lalo na out of position.
Lalo na out of position, katulad ni Bart ngayon. So parang advisable, lagi mo na lang i-overplay to. This is basically
Depende
an
rin sa
overplay.
kalaban.
Oo nga eh, kasi ito, effective pa yung stack ni Bart kay Ian. But this is relatively deep, 785. So ilang BBs pa yan.
16, 15.
Oo. Paulo Araneta, yung players sa kabilang table will try to give you that list.
Ang napansin ko is si Big Time,
Oo, si Big Time
si
nandun.
Bimby,
Bimby,
si Egoy.
Rosete, Egoy. Eto to. Binigay sa atin ng ating
si Matsuda,
kasamang hindi pa pala niya binibigay. Pinapakita lang pala niya sa akin. Antayin nating ibigay.
Hindi pa
Ng Kuya
sinesend.
Jess. Oo. Pwede namang i-screenshot kasi. Oo, na yan. Nagko-connecting patuloy. Oh. Screenshot na lang kasi. Ayan. Tayo nyo. Ibigay namin sa inyo. Ito. Eman Sigismundo.
Eman, may
Under the
open
gun.
yan.
Definitely. Oh. Sure open to kay Eman. King Queen off. So everybody's folding. Kasi kahit na isipin mong Eman has a very wide range when it comes to racing, but he hasn't been that active here on this table so far. Pero eto na naman. Meron na naman si Bart Servito. Baka i-overplay din niya to. Pero
Feeling
remember, under the gun. So magdadalawang isip din siya.
Oo.
Kasi
Ayun
yung race
factor.
under the gun is always, kahit nasabi mo malawak ang range o aggressive ang player, ang race under the gun is always a move that gets respect, no? Regardless of who
pinakamalakas
is
yung
doing
baraha
it.
mo pag doon ka nag-race.
Oo eh, kasi alam mo nang maraming dadaanan and yet ni-race mo pa rin. Oo. Although sa pag-evolve ng gameplay ngayon, minsan ginagamit na rin kasing strategy yan ng maraming players eh. Since alam nila ang reputation ng under the gun race, ginagamit na nila, di ba? Because, ayun na.
There's a re-race.
Yan, 3-bet nga. Minimum nito 3-bet. Hindi tutulak si Bart, pero iti 3-bet niya. As Bart Servito, 3-bets to 255,000. Eto naman, magbabasok na rito yung familiarity between these two players. Alam ni Eman na hindi siya basta babalikan ni Bart ng mahinang baraha. Oo. Ayun. Of course, hindi alam ni Eman that his hand is dominated. Hindi rin naman alam ni Bart na dinodomina niya yung hand ni Eman. So, ito, post-flop, na to. War na to. Yan. This is a hand that can favor Bart. Considering trinibet niya to. I don't think hindi
Kaya lang nakaposisyon siya.
Oo, si Eman. Hindi ata advisable kay Bart na kumatok sa flop na to.
Dapat may taya ka.
Dapat may taya siya rito. Kasi remember, ikaw coming from a 3-bet, yun.
bet, 130.
So, we see a bet of 130 from Bart Servito. Pre-flop, Bart 3-bets this. And walang dahilan for Eman to continue in this hand unless he will really try to represent kings or aces. Pero ang labo na because of the action pre-flop. So, a fold. Bart Servito, his aggressiveness paying off, taking down a considerable pot of Eman Sigismundo. We go back to our live stream viewers. Chuck Peregrino posing a question to Kuya Yats, pero mamaya natin basahin. Paolo Araneta, ito yung sagot sa tanong mo. Sa kabilang lamesa, ang live pa, Alexis Lim, Metro Team Pro, Chiero De Leon, Big Time Mateo, Bimbi Rosete, Egoy Lagatus, John Matsuda, and Body Boy Blue,
Elmer.
Elmer Kalakian. Ayan, yan pa yung nasa kabilang lamesa. Lahat din. Yats, puro mananabas din yung nasa kabilang lamesa.
Same,
no?
same.
Same. Eto, Kuya Chuck Peregrino, may tinatanong kung na-postpone daw ba. Ayan.
Arego.
Kibbs, Yabit, Metro Card Club, best live poker venue. Thank you, sir. Jerome Peña, good luck. Amo Edgar Asihan. Shout out sa'yo, Jerome Peña. Parang may gusto talagang sabihin si Jonathan Argamosa. Okay.
Ito.
BJ Carbonell, oo. Actually, walang itulak kabigan. Ito, BJ Perez. Under
Goes
the
all in.
gun. What a shove from BJ Perez. All of his 352,000 for his tournament live.
7
Ace
BBs.
8 off. See, minsan ang shoving talaga timing din, no? Swerte ka pag na-timingan mong wala talagang matinong barahang pwedeng tumawag
Kahit 7
sa'yo.
big blinds ka.
Oo. Kasi yung Ace 8 na yon medyo talagang parang nababracket na sa panugal na tulak yung ganun eh.
Mamaya lang, bro.
Diba?
Nasa
Considering,
undertagal pa siya.
considering yung position niya. Pero sabi nga natin, marami ng players sa gameplay ngayon ang gumagamit talaga ng under the gun race or move regardless of nang hindi ganun ka lakas ang baraha. Kasi alam nila it gets a lot of respect.
Tsaka iniisip din niya malamang next hand parang mawawalan siya ng 1 big blind na
Oo,
dahil ilalagay niya sa ante.
tama. Oo. So,
Parang magiging 6 bigs, big blind pa siya. 5,
oo.
pang yung 5 big blinds yung nasa likod niya.
Remember, ayun ho yung sitwasyon. Kapag ka nasa katulad ka ni BJ Perez na comparatively short stack na siya dito.
101.
So to survive, kailangan spot makakuha siya ng
Oo.
blinds o pang blinds niya.
Timing.
Oo, yan yung laging sinasabi ng mga batikan at veterano na sa tournament. Kailangan every orbit makakuha ka isa,
At
dalawa.
least 1.
Oo, at least one for you to survive. Dami nagpapa-shoutout sa'yo. Jason Sonsa. Oh, Jaja Alonso. Jaja Boom. Ayan, oh. Si Jaja
Ito na.
Boom.
Player 7.
Uy! Eto na.
Maybe Ian will call this one.
Oo. All in si BJ with pocket queens. Remember, Ian Marcos opening this, raising this hand under the gun
101.
with 101,000. BJ Perez going all in with 427,000. So Ian is left with 326,000 to call, as you can see in your graphics. Ayan. Ang hula mo, tatawag na dito si Ian. Oo. Ayun na nga, mukhang pinepwesto na niya. Of course, bilang to make sure, double check muna siya ng matitira. Pero he is sitting at over 1.7. Malaki ang stock ni Ian. Balikatan sila halos. Ayan na yung tawag na sinasabi mo. Pocket Queens versus King Queen. Only one overcard for Ian Marcos. A 3 outer. Depende sa magiging texture ng flop.
Si BJ.
After Queen 12, Ian has King Queen of Suit, which is a head.
So pre-flop, makikita natin 3 outer dito si Ian Marcos. Pwedeng madagdagan,
Flop is 9
pero hindi yan ang flop na kailangan niya. 6, 7, 9, 2 hearts.
Third card.
Although may heart na king,
Third card is 3 of
wala na to.
Only king.
King na lang pala, 3 outer na lang, sorry. And BJ Perez,
Double
or
sub.
sabi nga ng mga nakaraang tournament, BJ Perez. Ganun na siya pinopronounce yung kanyang
Parang
apelyido.
boxer ah.
Oo, BJ Perez doon sa Megastack, ganun lagi. With 18 BBs now, close to 1 million. And Ian Marcos's stack of 1.7 taking a hit there of
Down
almost
to
300.
1.4.
300,000. So 1.4 na siya. Ayan. Benji Chok Manga. Ayan, ng PSP. Poker Stake Philippines. Alam mo ba yung PSP ng Manila tonight? Hindi mo ba narinig yon?
Hindi.
Mamang-maangang ka pa.
Bata pa po ako.
Bata. Roque Lima, ayan. Nag-good luck kay Kuya Ian. If you have just joined this live stream, this is a featured table of the last 14 players of Metro Card Club's Christmas Special 5 million guaranteed happening here at Metro Card Club, home of the Philippine Poker Champions. I am Jester Intia with Metro Team Pros Jimmy Yats Javier. As Dre Nicolas opening up the action under the
103.
gun.
103, 104.
Kano? 104. Eto. Ang daming open ng under the gun dito sa mesang to ngayon, ha? Yung mga galaw ni Dre Nicolas is getting a lot of respect from the
Solid
table. Because he seldom moves eh. So, and so far lahat ng pinakita niya, so legit hands.
Very solid player.
Yes.
He takes down the pot.
Sabi ni Benson Villasoto, napakall si Ian dun offsuit. Kasi nga, sa lahat ng shove and considering yung stock ni BJ versus sa naipasok na ni Ian, so parang call na nga siya. Miko Lato railing for Kuya Eman Godzilla Sigismundo. Jaja Boom, Jaja Leoncio. Ako taga-Sigaw, 30k bigay. Randy Ortiz, wala ba parapol ng jacket at 5k? Bukas pa kasi bukas. Yung the last 14 players we are playing down to the final 8.
Final eight.
At yung final 8 will return tomorrow for our final table. Deck Cruz is saying, Brian Bandada, dumating, umalis, pero parating ulit si Marshall Servito. If my memory is correct, Bart Servito actually came to the tournament via the day 2 entry because this is the first time that Metro Card Club have featured the tournament that allows a straight to day 2 entry. So
First
maraming pumasok nung day 2, coming in with 50,000 starting stock, which is about 25 BBs.
50 players, I think.
50 players, ang pumasok. So one of those 50, eto si Bart Servito, at nakita nyo naman, he ran deep despite coming in
Sa Eman din.
ng day 2. Si Eman din ba?
Oo.
Aba. Kaya
Day 2
maganda,
entry.
oo. Alamin nga natin mamaya kung, tingnan natin kung merong player from day 2 na papasok sa final 8. Kasi so far, okay naman ang mga stock nila ngayon.
Hindi ko lang alam kung si BJ day to entry.
Ayon, sabi ni De Cruz, oo nga, Bart won a seat via flip out. Oo, baka ito na nga yun, no? Ginamit niya for day 2. Noel Manlapig, best of luck, Boss Ian Marcos.
Ito, may hand si Bart.
Oo, ito pa, ang dami.
UTG.
Maganda talaga ang run ni Bart dito. Maski dun, kamesa ko siya nung day 2. Kamesa ko siya. In fact, yung unang double up niya is courtesy ko. Ako, na wrong read ako sa kanya, kaya na double up ko siya.
Oo, yung pinikwento mo earlier.
Oo. Na-call down ko siya ng pocket 6. And after that double up, tuloy-tuloy na yung pagtaas ng stock ni Bart. Sabi ni Jason Ambata, day 2 entry din si BJ.
Okay.
Si BJ Perez. So, ang dami dito. Entering day 2.
Maybe pati si Ian, I think.
Let's check natin. At pag isa dito nag-champion, baka sa susunod na tournament.
Lahat
Marami.
sa dito na pumasok.
Marami nang sa susunod na tournament na may day 2 entry. Pero kasi ito, yung iba may day 2 entry. Pero minsan ang starting stock kasi ng mga yun, mga 30 lang, 35.
Parang mga
Ito,
14 bigs,
Oo,
12 bigs.
Yes.
Ganun.
Ito, day 2 entry, 50,000 ang starting stock. You're coming in na ang blinds is
20 bigs.
1,000, 1,224.
1,000 to 5.
Oh, 1,025. Oh. Di ba?
20 bigs.
20 bigs.
Maybe 22. Ah, tama, 20. Sakto.
Mm. Oy, shoutout sa ating boss, Amo, Tom Saludes. Shoutout sa iyo, boss.
Amo, kailan ka babalik?
Oo. Oo nga eh. Parang minessage kita, boss Tom Saludes. Di ko alam kung alin talaga yung account mo, pero hindi mo pa nasisin yung message ko. Pero ibang pangalan yung account na yun. Ilan ba account nito? Parang maraming account.
Baka na pinalitan lang yung pangalan.
Baka, oo. Kiel Cruz, shout out sa'yo. Boss Jeff. Alain Ruiz, shout out to you. Boss Alain. Oo. At shout out sa ating Mega Stack Mystery, ay mali, APT Mystery Bounty Champion. Joel Woody Jeremias, kasalukuyang nakikipagtunggalian sa ibang tournament. O, galing siya rito kanina pero he made day 3 pero short stack na, hindi pinalad katulad ko. At kaya siya ngayon true to his grinder form, nasa takbo kagad sa kabilang tournament para tuloy-tuloy ang grind ngayong araw na to. As we go back to this action,
Battle of the Blinds.
Battle of the Blinds, yes. Of course, knowing Putoy Rivera, he's not gonna come in with just a call or just a flat. He's too experienced for that. And a quick fold from Bart Servito. Ayon, after a series, si Edgar Asian actually came in here ng third in chips ata.
800.
Oh, parang pangatlo. Kasi Putoy, Ian Marcos, and then
Hindi.
Edgar.
Puto,
Ian
dito
Marcos,
sa table na to?
Putoy. Oo, dito sa table na to. Kanina, na nagsimula. Pero yun nga, pinagtatamaan siya. Okay, shout out Rafael Jose from Cebu City. From Insignor. Evan Escudero, shout out to you. Yung black scoop ko, napangako mo. Wala pa din na yung calamansi juice natin. Okay, Eman Sigismundo opening under the gun, pocket 6.
120.
Kakasabi ko lang kanina, kinall down ko si Bart Servito early nung day 2. Unang double up niya, courtesy ko, with holding that same hand, pocket 6. Ace Jack, hindi ako naniwalang alas siya. May flash draw kasi yung yung board, yung flop.
Eman will take down this spot.
Minsan, nandun na yung simpleng reason kung ba't ka fold. Pero dahil binabasa mo lahat ng posibleng senaryo, and then meron kang read pa, may table time ka pa sa player, magmamatigas ulo ka. Di ba? So, ganun ang pagkakamaling nagawa ko kay Bart. Oo, lesson learned. Miguel de Chavez the third. Let's go, Kuya BJ Perez. Oy, John Matsuda, good luck ha. Focus on the game, John Matsuda. Binayaran niya ng malaki kanina. Si 1
million, I think.
Oo. Nandun ka ba sa mesang yon?
Nanonood ako.
Oo, binayaran niya ng malaki si Chiro de la Cruz ba si Chiro? De la Cruz nga ba apelyido ni Chiro?
Straight on
De
the
Leon
flop.
pala, sorry.
Straight on the flop si
Straight
Chiro.
on the flop si Chiro with the King Queen. Nakita ba yung bara ni
Hindi.
John Linden? Si Chiro, kamesa ko to day 2 and talagang napaka-active na player. And true enough, minsan yung pagiging active pays off. Malaki yung stock niya ngayon. Tres Sarad the third, puro play safe yung mga players. Kailangan talaga natin mag-ingat sa ganitong stage. At hindi na biro ang mga pay jam dito sa stage na to. Of course, you want to, everybody of this last 14 players wants to reach the final table for a chance of a bigger payout. Pag nandito ka na sa stage na to, talagang dapat maging maingat ka. Hindi to 4 na araw na at 3 araw na. Or minsan 4 na araw na yung ipinaghihirap mo sa tournament. Hindi para basta-basta iwalwal mo lang yung chips mo. Noel Manlapig, shout out kay paring Arvin Ramos, watching from Bulacan. Shout out sa iyo, Boss Arvin Ramos. Fisherman Mark Pagsuyuin, magandang gabi po lahat. Shout out sa kanyang butihing may bahay na nanonood ngayon. Lina Pagsuyuin, ayan. Shout out Kingpin ng Kabanatuan, Monsiar Villarasa. Sa'yo na yan, Kuya Edgar. Ayan.
Naglaro din yan kanina, di ba?
Naglaro din. At nakita ko, medyo halos sunuran lang kami na out kasi nasa across the table ko siya, nakita ko nung tumayo siya. So, good game, boss, Monsiar. Alex Lee, shoutout naman po. O, sa'yo pala nagpapa-shoutout eh.
Sino? Shout out, Alex. Laro tayo mamaya. Cash game dito sa Metro.
Ayun. Magkano po ang price ng top 1 and 14th, sabi ni Adrian Lutia. Ang champion natin nasa 1.2. 1.280 ang champion. Ang 14th place nasa 14th place.
Ayun o.
Ano, ayun o. 14th place is 60,000. So itong mga players na to assured na ng 60,000. Kaya dapat nilang mag-ingat talaga sa galaw. Kasi ayaw mong 60,000 lang ang makuha mo. Gusto makuha 1.280. 1,280,000. Jerry Gomez, shout out sa asawa ko na si Laika. O, shout out sa iyo, Laika Gomez.
Maya-maya lang, nandito na yung mag-asawang yan.
Talaga ba?
Regular
Oo, ayun pala
25-50 players yan.
dapat pumunta na sila rito. Oo. Okay. At saka kay Andre at Sherwin. O, yan si Andre Antonio. Dre Nicolas, ace jack off, under the gun. Our player from France.
Only foreigner left.
Yes, the only foreign player left. We have several players from all over the country. Like we have some Americans, a lot of Koreans, several Japanese players who have joined this 1 week event, the Metro Card Club Christmas Special, 5 million guaranteed, and the last 14 players are here right now, and we will check if we're still at 14. Yes, we are. We're still at 14.
Eman 3 bets.
Aba, Eman Sigismundo, 3 betting, testing how tight Dre is. Parang meta game na to ni Eman kay Dre, no?
Oo.
He knows, Dre realizes that players recognizes that he's not really that adventurous, and look at that. That's a very good read of Eman Sigismundo with that 3 bet. Kasi
Almost the same stuff.
alam din naman ni Dre na he's getting respect from players with this. Katulad kanina, they've been holding to his race. But for someone to suddenly 3 bets you, despite knowing having an idea of how tight you have played, di ba? Parang irerespeto mo yun. Especially si Dre holding not so big a hand with ace jack off. Di ba?
Yes.
Ang ace jack is parang auto fold with a 3 bet at this stage at this stage of the tournament.
Para sa'yo.
Parang sa akin, oo eh.
Lalo na out of
Kasi
position
di ba
ka
out
pa
of
pag
position
kumol ka sa
ka.
kanya.
Pag kumol ka, coming from a 3 bet, kumol ka, lumabas yung alas. Paano ka nakakasigurong ahead ka? Ace queen could have 3 bet you, ace king could have 3 bet you. Pag tumama naman yung jack mo, paano ka pa rin nakakasigurong ahead
Maybe
ka?
queens
Di
yung
ba?
kalaban,
May
kings.
queens, may kings, may aces. So very tough. So facing a 3 bet with ace jack off, di ba?
5 and 6.
Ayan. Ron Corleone, not yet. This is day 3. Last 14 players playing down to the final 8 players. To the final table, which will be composed of 8 players. Fisherman Mark, rooting for Kuya Sardi Rivera. Good luck, all the best. Eugene ko, Kuya Yats, ang cup ko. Royly Orasyon, pwedeng paki-shoutout ako ng magandang introduction.
Ikaw na bala dyan.
O ito, Royly Orasyon, shout out to Chip Blade! Oy, Jimmy Grant, mabuhay ka. Mabuhay ang Batang Metro. Jimmy Grant, keep on
Ayan.
fighting. Laban lang. Jimmy Grant,
Laban
original
lang.
Batang Metro to. Oy, pocket tens again for Bart Servito. Ang daming barahan ni Bart dito sa lamesan to. He continues to increase his chips.
156 total.
Eto, 156. This is a race of 3.5. Kaya lang ito na, nako, eto action
eto na.
to. Patay tayo. Edgar Asian, Ace King. I saw Edgar 3-bet shove Ace King kanina versus Team Tau. Pocket Jack si Timothy Tau. Nag-all-inan sila for almost 1 million.
Ito, iniba niya yung strategy.
Ito, iniba niya yung strategy niya. 3-bet lang siya. Kasi si Bart ang nag-race. Okay. Gusto dito, kaya 3-bet lang ni Edgar. Gusto niyang makakita ng flop. Ang tanong, kung si Bart Shumav, parang hindi na rin naman ata
Hindi na po-fold.
po-fold si Edgar dito.
Call na siya. But this is a
At
top
hindi
decision.
tatapon dito si Bart.
But this is a top decision if...
Oo, kung flat ka ba
Oo.
o shove ka na. I don't think a fold is an option here for Bart. It's just a choice between a flat or a shove. But Bart has to consider he is out of position. He decides to flat this. Alam na niya kung ano ang galaw ni Edgar sa flop regardless eh.
Pero feeling ko, di na rin siya pa-flat.
Di ba? 450 yung 3-bet ni Edgar. He flats, that's almost 1 million. 327 behind. Bart should, ayun, mukhang naalam ni Bart yun. Tinitingnan niya yung behind ni Edgar eh.
Mas marami yung ni-race kaysa sa behind.
Oo. Jake Gatchalian, hindi pa. Si Chero. Si Chero, malaki pa atang stock. Nasa kabilang
Madami.
lamesa lang. Oo.
I think 1.5.
Oo, mga nasa over 1 million din ang stock ni Chero. Maganda stock niya. So back to the action. Bart Servito has to realize if he flats this, regardless of what will be the flop, he can be sure that Edgar is shoving this on the flop. And he knows that if he goes all in, wala na rin tapon si Edgar sa 3-bet
Wala
niya.
na siyang flat call yata. Para
Oo.
nag-iisip siya, fold or shove.
Oo nga, pero ang tanong, kaya niya, pwede pa siyang tumapon dito, may tapon pa
Kasi
siya.
ang matitira sa kanya, mga
1.2. Oo.
5, mga 500.
Mababaliktad ang sitwasyon nila ni Edgar.
In the next hand, big blind siya.
Yes, mababaliktad ang sitwasyon nila ni Edgar dito.
Big blind pa siya next hand. Then
Oo.
yung iniisip niya siguro.
So fold or shove lang siya rito. Okay, habang nag-iisip si Bart Servito rito, Luby Tibatibag, pa-shoutout kay Zeus. Nakataya sa UP plus 4 versus Ateneo. Go UP,
UP
fight.
fight.
Diyos ko po. Plus 4? UP? UP plus 4? Ang spread?
Hindi
Dihado
ba?
ba ang UP sa Ateneo?
Hindi ako nakakapanood
what
ng
a
UP.
fold by Bart Servito. Yun na nga, tama ka, Yats. No? Yun
Oo.
ang iniisip niya. Wala siyang flat eh. Either fold or shove. Kasi yun na yung
Kaya
stock
siguro
eh.
di siya sumugal. Ayaw niyang... Pag natalo kasi siya, magte-10 BB siya eh.
Yes.
Then big blind siya the next hand.
Oo. Sitting at 1.2. Ayun mga kaibigan. That's how careful players can be. Biruin mo at any given time, shove na si Bart doon. But at this stage, last 14 players, pay jump, malalaki na ang diferensya. You only exposed 120. Magkano yung pina niya? 240? Hindi mo isusugal yung kalahati ng stock mo doon.
Raise lang yata siya, 110, 120.
Oo. Despite the fact na siguro kinoconsider niya minimum na gagalawin ni Edgar doon. Ace King, di ba? Pero nakita niya yung
Flip
stock.
pa rin sila.
Oo, nakita niya yung stock. Wala nang tapon si Edgar regardless kung anong mangyari. Eto. So, Bart Servito holding pocket tens of the 3-bet, the big 3-bet of Edgar Asian.
Ito, nakikita na natin si Eman.
Oo.
Medyo aggressive na.
Oo, gumagalaw
Diba,
na.
parang trumibit siya ng ace 5 kanina.
Oo. Minsan malakas na confidence builder yon eh. Yung lumay-up ka, lumusot, shumut. So parang naisip mo, uy, pwede ko sundan. Alam niya, ang kailangan lang daanan niya rito si Putoy Rivera. Dre Nicolas is playing relatively tight. Bart Servito is also relatively not too adventurous, but as we see him call here, of course with 10-9 suited,
10-9 off.
it's 10-9 off rather. It's just a mini race from Eman. As Bart hits 9 on the flop, so we'll definitely
bet.
see him continue after the bet dito. Of course, this is an automatic continuation bet from Eman. We will see him continue this up until the flop. Tingnan natin ang magiging galaw. Ayun. Bart doesn't know this, but he is still ahead right now. But remember, it is Eman who opened this action. Baka mag-lead out dito si Bart. Because he doesn't see that 5 helping Eman eh. Kung hindi siya naniwalang queen si Eman, or that his 9 is good, but he opted to
So,
check.
tingnan natin kung
Eto
tira
ba?
pa na second barrel
Yes.
si Eman. Dahil
He has to.
nakita na natin ginawa niya kanina rin yan kay Bart.
Oo.
10 high flop, then
Yes.
turn jack.
Oo.
Diba? Fold si Bart.
Si Bart. Oh, alam naman ni Eman kung paano, alam ni Eman paano lalaroin si Bart. Oh, alam niya to. He has to. Walang value yung barahan niya eh. There you go. Eman Sigismundo showing us you don't need cards to play this game. You just need a very good understanding of your opponent's tendencies. As he showed again, as he takes down a much needed pot kasi medyo nag-grind out siya. So he's back right now in contention. 1.3. As we see the very dangerous Eman
Eman.
Sigismundo.
Godzilla.
Oo, Godzilla. Bakit Godzilla?
Hindi ko alam eh. Parang ayun yung naging
Oo,
nickname
moniker niya.
Oo.
Oo. Godzilla. Godzilla. Oh, Godzilla. Ito. Eman. Okay, pahinga muna. Nakadalawa na eh. Natunugan niya. May riles si BJ. Oo.
BJ's now has...
Nag-chat pa. Kala ko diamonds ako. Nangatwiran pa.
Hanep.
Oh, ayan daw. Ito. Bernie Angeles, shout out kay Ice Angeles. Shout out tayo Ice Angeles. From Bernie Angeles. Nina Alcacid. Oh, ikaw sa'yo nagpapa-shout out.
Hi, Madam Nina.
Oo.
From Calamba.
Oo. Eman Sigismundo. Opo, akala mo po diamonds ka. Yan. Ice Angeles, shout out naman. Shout out back kay Lolo Boogie. Oh, Picasso Perez, pa-shout out daw. Yat Xavier.
Shout out kay Kuya Onyok.
Okay. Eto, back to the action. Putoy Rivera on the dealer button with King Jack. He will definitely look
Flat
this
call.
up. Oo, flat. Putoy Rivera is very good at this. I think very sharp ang yung basa, yung skill sa pagbabasa ni Putoy Rivera over his opponents, how the cards develop, every movement, very calculated moves coming from one of the 5 great Rivera brothers.
Sino yung panlima? Ikaw?
Ha? Siyempre.
Okay.
5 great nga eh.
Okay.
Kasama yan lagi. Ihilera mo kaming 5, wala kang itulak kagibigin eh. Kung galing din lang ang pag-uusapan.
Back to the action.
Uy! Eto na sinasabi natin. Of course, BJ Perez with the continuation bet. Siyempre, ititest niya kung may jack.
Tier 7 bet, 200
Ano daw, kala ko umol in eh.
Wala ko din. 250.
Ang laki ng bet.
400 behind.
Ang laki ng bet ni BJ.
Feeling ko
Malaki siya.
inaalam na niya yung
Oo nga
barahe.
eh. Malaki siya relative to his stack. Not necessarily relative to the pot. Malaki relative to his stack because he only has almost 400 behind. O tama ka siguro, no? Inaalam na niya kung
Feeling
tumama ba
ko,
ng jack si Potoy.
feeling ko pag sinaban siya, pupuld siya eh.
Oo, oo,
Ipo-fold pa
oo.
niya.
Parang fold
Parang
pa
ayan
yan.
na yung pinaka
Yan
last
na
na
yung
ano niya.
sagad niyang papan. Pag flumat naman si
Ayun lang, hindi natin alam kung
Potoy,
anong
wag
gagawin
lang
niya.
mag-G sa turn. Katok, parang check fold na ata ang magiging line ni BJ. Pero ang tanong, if-flat pa ba siya ni Potoy dito? Siyempre, nakikita na ni Potoy na 400 na lang yung likod ni BJ. Pag flinat niya sa 250, hindi na, considering nag-top pair na siya, may tapon pa ba siya sa 400? At that point, mag-iisang million na yung yung stack, yung pot.
1.8, 4, 6,
Oh, 250, 500. Hindi, yung 635 kasama na yung 250 niya,
Ah,
no? So, tama, pag tumawag siya, almost 900,000 ang pot,
then 400 behind si
400
BJ.
behind si,
Ayun, humuli na.
ayun na nga ang tinitingnan ni Potoy eh. Ilahat na kita. Dito may tapon pa si BJ. Dito may tapon pa si BJ. Di ba?
Feeling ko tatapon siya. Parang kaya niya nilakihan yung taya ng
Oo eh.
flop. Inalam na niya agad
Oo.
kung nasan yung baraha niya. Kasi parang naliligaw ka pa rin pag tumaya ka ng maliit.
Yes. Kasi pwede ka pang
diba?
Ayun, pinakita pa niya.
Oo.
Pinakita niya yung pocket 10 niya. Let's see kung if Potoy Rivera will return the favor and shows the jack. Pero hindi na niya papakita. Anyway, makikita naman niya sa replay. Di ba? As we have the first break of this featured table, let's see if we will shift, change table. We will also take a break here and come back to you after 10 minutes.
Bigyan na ng kalamansi. Kapalit pa. Ito ang button ko next time. Yoda, ito button ko. Opo. Okay, i-sort ko na to. Sort ko na. Try ko mag-chop. Gamay ko yung ano. Ito, Bel. Sample mo ba? Very light lang. Yes. Hindi naman pasmata kayo, di ba? Magiging ano rin yung panagamay mo yan.
Tapos ang all-in mo, Beb. Para kitang-kita. Dun sa kabila. Tapos pag mong paladaanin pag-mac, ano na lang. Kasi nare-read dito. Kahit ngayon walang si wala. Ito, kasi ako by number na
May number na.
So kanina, 1, 2, 3, sa mukha ng 5 ka na. Ay, 1, 2, 3, 5 ka na. Oo,
Oo.
1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Tapos, ewan ko sa kanila, kung may seat 4 sila, dun ka mag-debate. Basta yun, magdodraw naman ulit sila ng button
Pero yata
dun,
button
ma'am.
eh. Oo.
Hindi, yun yung naiwan kong button. Yung
Ah, okay.
button dun, siguro, i-ano dito. Sige, tayo mga na.
Oh, lapil.
Sige lang, go. Gusto ko yan. Short mo na lang, Ben. Oh, short ka na. Short.
Yes.
Short mo na
Wait
lang.
lang, tulong to.
Ako naman, ang mahihirapan ako. Nabola pa ako ni
Pasimpleng
Jeff.
manya ka,
Gusto
titignan mo yung
ako
kwento,
kalaman
ah.
si Jules eh. Maganda daw kahit sa camera. Bigyan ka lang siya.
Si Jakarta, huwag niyong stressin, ha. Sige na.
Nag-ayos si
Lang, baka magdadalo tayo. Palalo kaya pala yung nahanap ka namin eh.
Mamaya yan, lagay ko dito.
Eto kay ano to?
Dito galing.
Ganito pa.
Yes.
Ito ang button. Medyo siya ang button doon, di ba?
Yung nakablue. Yun, nakablue.
Kaya yan yan, Bimbi. Si Bimbi. Ay, hindi. Hindi ko alam. Chip si Bimbi na to.
Hindi pa nailipat na. Saka ito pa. siya, hindi ko po alam. Change po, yung player doon nandito na.
Keep frame. Wala pa yung mga
Dalawa lang sila.
ito yung keyboard mo.
Hindi mo makita, sir. Ay, cut card ko pala. Mamaya, walang pa.
Rounds lang pala.
Wala ba tayong card?
Sir Bimbi, wala tayong 6.
Wala
Ay,
tayong
ay, sir, tax mo, sir, dito ka. Mag-scan tayo. Okay lang naman po dyan ka, pero dito na ka. 1, 2, 3, 4.
parang 5.
Ah, 5. So, once again, phones po, pag-start po ng featured, pakisabihan lang po sa gilid. Wala pong phone sa bag or sa bulsa po kasi kailangan po nasa gilid talaga. Sir George, dito na.
Ma'am, pwede CR lang sa
Sige.
3, 4, walang 5.
Isa pa. 4, 6, 7.
4, 6, 7, 8. Mamaya, isa pa mamaya. Thank you.
All right, as you see, we are back
Oscar,
just in time to catch the last few minutes of the break. And during the break, we have shifted table. We have switched table.
Yun.
You see now the other half of the last 14 players remaining in this tournament. And we're going to give to you the lineup and their chip count when we start after the break. But before that, just to give room to some shout outs. Shout out to Kayo, Jester De Torres, Alvir Innocente, shout out to you. Kuya Yats and Jess, Deng Lee, shout out. Jason Ambata, shout out kay Clee Torres. From Jason Ambata. Kuya Yats Javier, ayan, pa-shout out kay Clee Torres. CJ Rivera, shout out, nice one Papa. Of course, he's referring to Zardi Rivera, who is now, their table have transferred to the other table because we have a new featured table. Noel Manlapig, shout out Boss Arthur Lim. Okay. Mac de la Cruz, Reniel Galvez, shout out. Francis Jason Caro, the entry fee for this tournament is 16,500. Shout out John Talentino and Boss Richard TKO. Shout out to you.
Kaya na-stock mo, may body. 600.
Also, shout out for, kay Boss Chino Pasha from Jonathan Argamosa.
Doon sa nakakarinig sa'yo.
Kaya si Jeremy ayaw na sumagot sa baka hindi na.
Seven players we are now streaming our Richard Symbol live in the Heart Club Facebook page.
Feeling ko, sa'yo ako madadoble.
Share and friend.
Kasi nanakawin mo.
As we see,
Pilit ako.
Okay lang. Hindi na kumot. Hindi ako
the last 7 players almost completed.
Sabi.
Shout out also Boss John Tolentino.
Yan, Marcos, pare.
Six, six, six. Walang five daw.
I love. Go hit. 55,000. Easy.
All right, anytime now, I think our technical guys
Bakit St. Peter?
are just making sure as we hear the friendly banter of this table. I think they are seated complete that we can give you the lineup now for this new featured table.
Kanina ba ayaw tigil? Kanina ba ayaw tigilan nila?
All right, you have at seat 1. Ito yung mga naghahanap. Chero De Leon, uy, mukhang tinamaan siya with only 690,000. He was sitting earlier at over 1 million. Alexis Lim with 1.5 million. Christopher Big Time Mateo, still the chip leader of this tournament with 2.5 million. Bimbi Rosete also sitting on over a million earlier, but I think he got hit with 800,000. George Egoy Lagatus with 2 million running behind Big Time Mateo. John Matsuda with 760,000 and Elmer Bodyboy Kalakyan with 620,000. This is the other half of the last 14 players. If you have just joined this stream, you are watching the featured table. This is the featured table of the ongoing Metro 5 million guaranteed Christmas special happening right now here at Metro Card Club in Ortigas, the home of Philippine Poker Champions. This is our continuing coverage. We're about to start resume. The players are on a 10-minute break right now. Of course, on the other table, at the background, you can see that's the other half of the last 14. They were earlier at this table, and the chip leader there is Sardi Putoy Rivera with 2.2 million, followed by Eman Sigismundo with 1.1 million, tied with Ian Marcos with also the same stack, 1.150 million in chips.
1 minute. 1 minute. Nice to you.
For those who are asking this today, we will play up to the final 8 player. Final table will be 8 players, and they will come back tomorrow, and we will stream that game for you at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Also, tomorrow will be the last side event for the Christmas special. That's the big bounty. It has a buy-in of our big bounty. Let me double check from our resource person here at the booth.
Daw ang football eh. Ano oras na? 7:42. 7:42. Mas pa siguro to, no?
I am.
Mga highlights. Highlights.
Hindi pa ako mag-wash, ano? Standby na daw po. Mamaya.
Standby na.
Stand.
Types of lines. Starting state.
Okay, as we see, all right. As we hear Miss Mary Ann announcing the resumption of action here at the Metro Card Club. This is the last 14 players out of the 300 plus runners for this 5 million guaranteed Metro Christmas special. And there's someone's birthday here at the Metro. Chiero De Leon. A lot of people are asking about him. He's still live. He's still very much in this game, sitting on 900. What is he sitting on? 690,000. Ah, there you go. Our boss, Papa Chups himself. Happy birthday, Sir Christopher Chops Chua. Happy birthday to you, sir. Papa Chups, the official venue for Metro celebrations here at the Metro Walk Complex, of course. For much needed refreshments, there's Black Scoop. Black Scoop.
Oo. Ay, sa kanan niya. Palipat ko po yung cards ko sa kanan. Kanan, kaliwa. Dito. Dito na po daw yung cards ko. Okay.
Okay, what's the name of our dealer? Jakarta? As Dealer Jakarta, what a name. Dealer Jakarta instructing Egoy Lagatus to use the other box for RFID sensor. Christopher Pasion. Sino si Kali? Anyway, welcome back. John Calderon railing for Chiero De Leon. Big time Mateo have not relinquished his lead, a lead he built up on day 2. Day 1 even. He's the overall chip leader amongst survivors of day 1 going to day 2. He was also, I think he's also the chip leader going to day 3. And as we wind down the action to the final 8, big time Mateo still on top of the heap of all the 14 players, all of which are very seasoned veterans of the tournament circuit. As we see Buddy Boy Kalakyan, King Jack off, folded to him at the small blind, announcing he is all in. He's sitting at $500,000 in stack.
Alin doon? Seat 1, ipalagay sa kanan niya. Ito daw po.
As Chiero de Leon
1,000 po. Ay, sorry. 500.
sitting on 900,000. Let's see if this is gonna merit a call from him. We have yet to see his hand. We have yet to check the RFID if he's using. As we see a call from Chero de Leon,
Call.
and they will table their hands. Elmer Kalakyan's King Jack versus
Okay na ba yan? Sige lang.
okay, versus Ace 7 off of Chero de Leon. Let's see.
Open ko na. Flop.
And the window card is an ace. That favors Chero de Leon. Remember, Elmer Buddy Boy Kalakyan is all in for his tournament life. Elmer getting open-ended on the turn.
River.
And the 5 of spade. Nobody has a spade. So, Chiero de Leon is busting out. Elmer Kalakyan exiting the tournament at 14th place. And he won for himself
Okay na, Jet?
60,000 in prize money.
Sige lang.
So we are down to 13 players now. Again, we are playing down to the final 8.
Ha? Change there? Mamayan. Mamayan. Change.
Change deck daw. Change deck daw.
Change
So
deck
dealer
now.
Jakarta
Change
requesting a change deck for from our
So, ang second players, please,
hardworking
huwag masyadong i-bend yung
floor,
card pagka mag-silip
Miss
tayo.
Mary Ann, and she is reminding the 7 players on the table not to really bend these RFID cards because this is embedded with strips of sensors which can easily be damaged if you fold the cards as you try to take a pick.
I-check mo pa rin siya. Kailangan na kasi ng gano'n. Kasi kahit
Basta ma-check lang. Spread niya, ma-check lang.
pero any color or blue black pa
Ha?
ano eh.
Pag ililinaw nila.
Pag sila nag-ano sa loob.
Oh, baka pwede balik na lang tayo dun, no? Diba? Tumatagal.
Nag-move na po ako ng button.
Alexis Lim of Metro Team Pro still very much in contention to take down this tournament. He is sitting at over 1 million in chips. Let's double check that. $1.5 to be exact.
Idin ko na. Okay.
All right. This is the 29th hand combined of this featured table. Of course, the other half of the last 14 players was featured here, showing the likes of Eman Sigismundo and Sardi Potoy Rivera with Edgar Asihan and BJ Perez. As we see a race from Bimbi Rosete.
Sit 2 sa kanan niya. Sa kanan ko daw po yung part.
I think there was some mixed up in the setting of
Diyan po daw yung part.
the RFID box assigned to the players,
Sit 4, race 1.
because I think this 10 jack is actually the hand of Bimbi, because Big Time Mateo has already marked his cards. So this 10 jack is the hand for Bimbi, as action is now with Chero de Leon, who folded already, and Alexis Lim. Again,
Yes, sir.
we cannot see his
Big blind call. Heads up.
we'll fix it for you. We'll fix it for you later on. Our tech team have seen the confusion is currently fixing them. So we're bound to get it right just in a few minutes. As we see a check for the first two streets for this protagonist. Of course, Alexis Lim defending his big blind from the opening of Bimbi Rosete.
Of course. Full house.
I hear Jakarta declaring Alexis Lim has a full house. And maybe Alexis was just trapping Bimbi. That's why he keeps checking towards Bimbi. But Bimbi smart enough to check back. And we see Crimson from our technical team fixing the confusion and instructing the players which particular RFID box to use. And so we'll definitely gonna sort this out.
Sayang, hindi na tama ba?
Okay, sige.
Last 7 players.
Wait lang ah. Wait lang.
Big Time Mateo leading this table and also leading the other table. The overall chip leader, Christopher Big Time Mateo.
Wala ka po daw mo.
Talo na siya.
Go na. Go na. Okay, first up, sir.
Nainip tuloy.
Ulit. Okay, okay. Wait lang, sir, ha. Wag mo na. Hindi, okay lang. Mga artista kayo. Oo. Ano yan?
Rolly Rules rooting for Egoy Lagatus. Ano yung Ula, ang batang gupat? Babae si Ule. Okay, I think our dealer is coordinating with the tech team just to ensure that we're giving you
Pinapastop.
information as to the whole cards of these players, as brought to you by our RFID sensor. And but I see for a moment there, I see a an all-in triangle lammer in front of Bimby. So Bimby shoving under the gun
Je. So, all in lang si
all
Pierre,
of his
ha?
800 with
Okay, next
ace
na
10
ako.
suited, but he is running. He will run into the pocket queens of Egoy Lagatus.
680
Open shove under the gun for Bimbi Rosete. What a gutsy move. As George Lagatus already announced his call, and Bimbi Rosete, ace 10 suited versus pocket queen. Bimbi, all in for his tournament live.
Go na ako.
Meron
Je,
din ako
go
ace
na
na
ako, Je. Go. Good luck,
Wow.
players.
And Egoy Lagatus hitting mid-set on the flop. Bimbi's inside straight draw did not come. And Maxwell Philip Rosete exiting the tournament at 13th place.
Oh, lima lang tayo.
No, at 13th.
Next big blind.
1, 2, 3. Bimbi's 13th or 12. We see 5 players remaining in the featured table. Maxwell Rosete.
Pabilang yung stock lang.
13th,
Bilang daw ng stock.
13th place,
Bilang
yes?
daw ng stock.
Okay, so yes, Maxwell Philip Bimbi Rosete exiting at 13th place. So we are down to the last 12. They are balancing the table. We should see 6 players here. So Dre Nicolas, the player from France, is now being transferred to our
600,000.
featured table. So he is back into the TV table.
60.
Ako, siya ang big line.
So the players are evenly split between the two tables remaining. So Dre Nicolas now seated back again to our featured table. Action now is on George Lagatus, 8-6 offsuit. Let's see if he will be as creative as Eman earlier, who was sitting on the same spot. But no, he's not. John Matsuda letting go his queen 9 off. Chero de Leon, 9-7, a suited one gapper for Chero. And that is enough for him to make a raise at the cutoff position,
120.
trying to steal the advantage of the dealer's button from Metro Team Pro Alexis Slim, who, as we can see, has a card that he cannot really continue with. Also a fold from Big Time with King 6 off, and Dre Nicolas, I think this will be a quick fold for Dre with 5-3 suited. So Chero taking down that those blinds.
Ha?
Ray Bagyo Osete rooting for Big Time Mateo. Edge Castillo rooting for Big Time Mateo and Alexis Lim.
Okay na.
This will be a top spot for Dre Nicolas because he is sandwiched between two aggressive players in the person of Big Christopher Big Time Mateo and
7 fold.
George Egoy Lagatus. Chero de Leon with ace queen off, folded to him at the hijack,
220.
raises to 120, I think. And the TV table continues to provide action with those hands as we see Alexis Lim with ace jack suited. I think Alexis Lim's thumbnail
With ace.
is showing that
330.
of Big Time Mateo, so that will be corrected in a few minutes.
4 fold.
Alexis Lim with a 3 bet to 330,000 over Chero de Leon. Can Chero defend? Continue with ace queen off. Facing a 3 bet from Metro Team Pros, Alexis Lim. Chero de Leon in a deep tank right now.
Clear all in. 6 1.
And he announced all in. And I don't think Alexis will be able to call this one with only with ace jack, even though it's suited. Chero de Leon all in for all of his 1.3 million chips. Alexis Lim with almost the same stack. These two players are almost even, so that's a very good shove from Chero de Leon. So I think this will be an easy fold for Alexis. I don't see him gambling his 1.2 remaining in chips with just ace jack, especially this is already a 4 bet jam from Chero, who originally opened this action, met a 3 bet from Alexis Lim, and goes back. And when action is folded back to him, Chero de Leon showing the guts he have. 4 bet shove with ace queen off. Alexis Lim, although he's showing a pained face because of how this action developed, and there you go, there you see it, a fold. Alexis Lim letting go of his ace jack suited because it's just not a hand that you'd want to call a 4 bet shove with. Jeffrey Pardales, Big Kuya Big Time, bata mo ako, araw-araw, sipag lang. Sipag lang by Jeffrey Pardales. And if you have just joined this live stream, this is the 5 million guaranteed Christmas special happening here at the Metro Card Club, home of the Philippine Poker Champions, right here smack at the heart of Metro Walk Complex in Ortigas. Featured table, last 12 players. We are playing down to the final 8. The champion poised to take home 1,280,000 in chips.
Sit 1 fold.
Ray Nicolas. Let's see if he will adjust. Yes, it's good enough. Folded to him at the button. He has adjusted his range because he's sitting down on only 450,000 in chips. And that might be enough to take down an additional. John Matsuda, A7. This is something that he has shown the propensity to call with. And yes, he did. Made the call. A7 suited versus A7 offsuit.
450, sir.
Unless we see three hearts, this is bound to be a split pot between these two gentlemen.
Di bali, pre-roll ka yan. Dalawa. Double full space.
Okay.
Good luck, players.
Flop. Ace deuce king. Turn of queen. River of 10. A split pot between the two. There you go. AK on Lemoreno. Shout out from Pinagbarilan, Baliwag. Ba? Meron palang Pinagbarilan, Baliwag, no? Shout out to you, AK on Lemonero. Hagio Atade, go, 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 Metro. Shout out to you, sir. Rolly Rules.
Bagalan.
Shout out to you, I love Rolly Rules. WPT Cambodia, third placer.
Deal na ako.
Dealer Jakarta, dealing the 33rd hand combined of this feature table. RNH Ayosoy, shout out Liam, Aidan,
100.
Yosoya. Big Time Mateo, opening the action, folded to him at the hijack position. This is coming from a limp under the gun. I think there was somebody who limped under the gun. But anyway, action now on John Matsuda, King Queen off. He can overplay this and 3-bet shove Christopher Mateo. And that's actually what he did. It's a 3-bet shove from John Matsuda for a total of 720,000. His tournament life on the line. Chero De Leon with a quick fold. Big Time Mateo with a quick call. And we will see John Matsuda hopes to hit any of his cards to survive this particular hand.
Once again, calling all the following players for our new 10-1 table.
Let's see.
Elmo, Reggie, Tyron, Alan,
Flop is 9 high. Big Time Mateo hitting is 9. Turn is a 3. Matsuda needed to hit any of his two cards on the river, which will not come. John Matsuda eliminated at 12th place. Good game for John Matsuda, a player originally from Cebu, a very aggressive player, very, very good player. Good game, John Matsuda. He takes home with him a cash prize of, I think, we're still at the 60,000 payout. Yes, we are, 60,000. Now, payout have jumped to 75,000. So these 11 players are now assured of 11,000, 75,000 in payout.
Dead button.
So Big Time Mateo adding to his stack now sits at 3.2 million to lead all these last 11 players. Once again, we're playing down to the final 8. This final 8 will come back tomorrow at 3 p.m. for the final table together with the last side event of the Metro Christmas Special. That is the Big Bounty with a buy-in of 2,300 pesos and an additional 1,000 which will go to as the bounty prize. So every person you buzz out tomorrow, if you join the big bounty starting from level 1, you will get 1,000 pesos as bounty prize. John Axel Den. Shout out Popoy Cruz ng Cavite. Grinder sa Malate, and good luck Kuya Egoy Lagatus. Also shout out Adriano Nicolas. As Chero de Leon, let's go of his king, and Alexis Lim, let's go of another king, because they know that Dre Nicolas's ace king suited dominates their hand. There you see the chip count. Christopher Mateo with a total of almost 33% of the total chips that are in this table. You see 5 players. There's another 6 players at the second table there at the background. You can see them behind. As Gigi Pinas is asking, where are they now? Kendall Rosario, he is on a sabbatical from poker. As we see Dre Nicolas shoving all in with ace queen off under the gun. I'll get back to you, Gigi, later on. Quick fold from Egoy Lagatus. Chero de Leon, 9 to suited. Yes, I think he's gonna still let go of this hand. Let's see if Alexis will find a hand with pocket fives again. This is another one to for Alexis Lim to make a decision of, but with sitting only at small blind and not so strong hand, I don't see him calling this shove by Dre Nicolas. And big time Mateo folding his hand to Dre Nicolas and making it look like Dre Nicolas owes him big time. That's why he is called Big Time Mateo. Anyway, going back to the question of Gigi Pinas, Kendall Rosario on a semi-sabbatical, but he said anytime now. Jed Acosta still is very much active playing, mostly on private games, but time and again he will show up to play in some of the big tournaments. Same as Joshua Rivera. Ronel Santo Tomas, have no news about him. Ed Marcelo just played in this Christmas special. Unfortunately, I don't think he made it to day 3 or day 2. Joffrey Cuiba and Yves C, no news about him. Ian Brion is back in the tournament circuit. Mark Benassa is, I think, showed up in one of the big tournaments I played at. And Nicky Fillard is still very much around, but mostly playing the big games here at the Metro Card Club. Mar Magpundag, shout out to you. Steven Herrero Opolencia, shout out sa mga taga Trapiche na nag-iinom. Ayan. Shout out, galingan mo Boss Chiro, nauubos ng buhok mo. Di ba nilang maubos ang buhok niya, wag lang ang pitcha niya. Yancy. Jed Sebastian, shout out daw, Mar Makapundag. Joseph Sia, we are down to the last 11 players. Big Time Mateo, chip leader with 3.2. Close second is Putoy Rivera or George Lagatus, because I think he took down, yeah. George Lagatus. Putoy Rivera sitting in over almost 2 million also. This is we're gonna play down to the final 8, as action now is between Big Time Mateo and George Lagatus. George already has the check mark here. A quick review. George Lagatos opened pre-flop. Christopher Mateo defended on the small blind. Flop, they and turn, they both check. Now river, Christopher Mateo leads out with 120. A call from big time Mateo with only king high. What a call. What a read from George Egoy Lagatus to take down the pot and now overtakes Christopher Mateo as the chip leader of this table. George Lagatus is sitting now on 3.4 million after that king high call on the river bet of big time Mateo. Steven Opolencia, babawi talaga. Bawi kayo sa susunod. Ha? We'll see you as January sa sunod na
Ladies and
big event ng
gentlemen,
Metro
please
Card
have
Club,
your
Philippine
seats.
Poker Tour.
Once again, players,
All
if
of the
you
last
wish
18
your seat,
players of this tournament were awarded a main event seat to the Philippine Poker Tour. That's a 3 million guaranteed tournament happening sa January na of 2023. Noel Manlapig will try to see Ian Marcos. I think he's still alive and then is still live doon sa second table. Ernie Cardenas, saan ba yan matatagpuan? Ito po ay matatagpuan dito lamang sa Metro Walk na nasa Ortigas Center. Malapit sa Mega Mall. Ayan, yan ang mga palatandaan. Madali na ito ay makikita mo sa Waze. Mag-Waze ka lang.
Tumol na, tumol once more.
Alright.
That's up. First up.
As you see action here, blind versus blind action. Dre Nicolas, Egoy Lagatus, King 5 for Dre, Jack 4 for George Lagatus. No raise was made before the flop. So just battle of the blind to see if Dre will lead out this. It goes check, check. Turn is a queen of hearts. I think if Dre still checks this, Ego is gonna fire one already. Dre checks. Let's see if Ego will make a stop at this spot. Yes, he did. Betting 100. For your guidance, those pink chips are worth 50,000 and the gray chips are worth 10,000. Dre Nicolas calls the 100 bet. I think he's on a check call mode just now. He's gonna make his 5 a bluff catcher. He checks the river. George Legatus, last attempt to take down the spot. A heavy bet of 300,000. I think, which is enough for Dre to let go of this hand. I don't see him calling this one, especially how tight he has played this tournament. But if he has a good read on Egoy Lagatus, he can actually, make that call. Although, having observed him, and we have seen how he played in the other featured table earlier, I just don't see him calling this one. Good move for George Egoy Lagatus, making use of his big stack, putting the pressure on the river. Because if you're Dre Nicolas, you'd probably thinking not so many people will make a bluff bet on the river. That's why this is a very effective move every time the action goes like this. Especially if your opponent has a short stack like that and Egoy Lagatus taking down the pot, showing he knows and he has what it takes to be a champion in this tournament. Hagio Atade. I was there the other night playing 2550. Just known poker for a year and since then loved the game. Not familiar with the rules of tournament how I'd wish. And the gods to have a seat soon. Just keep on playing, Hagio. That's all most poker players will advise to you. Just keep on playing. And you're bound to improve your skills. And no other place to better improve your skills than here at the Metro Card Club, home of the Philippine Poker Champions. All the big names you see right now in the Philippine poker scene at one point in time have been grinders here at the Metro Card Club. Started with the Metro 500, the small tournaments, the daily tournaments. They have been grinders here, and this is where they hone their skills. The likes of Mike Takayama, the Rivera brothers, Christopher Mateo, the Metro Team Pros, Vam Magsakay, Dave Spade, name them. They have been here grinding and polishing their skills. Dre Nicolas at the bottom of this cheap ladder with 8 BBs. George Lagatus on top. Right, you are Jester De Torres. Metro Card Club, where amazing happens.
My stop points are now 40,000, 80,000, and 80,000.
As we hear our tournament director announcing that there's gonna be an increase in the blinds in the next hand. We are now at 30,000, 60,000. Next blinds will be 40,000, 80,000, still with a big blind ante of 80,000. Chero de Leon mixing it up, racing now at the small blind, folded to him. Only Alexis Lim on his path. He raised to 150. King 5 off. Still dominates Alexis's hand of 5-3 suited. Let's see if Alexis, no, he's not. He's not gonna be adventurous with this hand. Alexis letting go of his big blind. Billy Roy railing for Chero, Tito Deng de Leon.
Hindi na. Dito lang tayo. Dito lang tayo. Kaya nga. Sunod dito si Yoda. Mamaya pa. Si Yoda ang ito ko siya. Si Yoda ang tagal-tagal pa.
Ay, napanood sa Facebook nung kumulong. Ay, maputang yun.
As we see a change in the dealer, shout out to our Metro dealers, our hardworking Metro dealers who are comparatively efficient than the other dealers I have come across with. Yeah, old but efficient, according to Jess here at the booth, not me. Joy.
Gray Paul. Itong sit one.
Okay, shout out Metro dealers, especially to the lobby 4 of Metro dealers Ashanti. Corinne? Corinne Pascual? Ba-
Chero race.
Corinne Pascual, Chero de Leon, Ace Jack suited hearts. Folded to him on the dealer button, racing to 200. Big time Mateo doesn't want to engage Chero. So, Chero will take down the blinds. Jano Alvarez, wala naman kuya. Yun ay pawang katotohanan lamang. Justin Philip Belaniso, watching from Canada, Cebu. Go, 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 Alexis Lim. Railing for Alexis Lim. AK on, Leo Moreno. Nasa si Coach Ron. Bukas pa siya. Siya ang kapartner natin sa final table tomorrow. We will stream the final table as it happens here at the Metro Card Club tomorrow at 3 p.m. Egoy Lagatus, Ace King off, under the gun. He doesn't know it yet. He's gonna know now. And he will reach for his chips to raise this one.
George raised 200 total.
200 raise for George Lagatus. Shara De Leon, quick fold. Alexis Lim, probably a quick fold as well. Shout out to Bimbi Rosette. Good game, sir. Very good game for you. Dre Nicolas on the big blind will let go. If you have just joined this live stream, we are down to the last 11 players. We're gonna play until the final 8, and those final 8 will return tomorrow and play the final table until we crown the 2022 Metro Christmas Special 5 million guaranteed main event champion. This is the inaugural opening of the Metro Christmas Special with a buy-in of 16,500 and a starting stack of 50,000 in chips. And this is the first tournament for Metro that allowed a day 2 entry. Some of these players still remaining entered during day 2. Bart Sherbito, I think still in the game, entered on day 2. BJ Perez entered on day 2. Who else entered on day 2? We're missing from the rotation of the dealers. Betchay Chrysostomov, Sarapen.
Ayop nga, sakit.
Papa Chups, Boss Christopher Chops Chua, happy birthday. As we see Alexis Lim shoving all of his 920,000 at the cutoff with ace-7 off. Dre Nicolas, ace-9 suited. Let's see if he will decide that this is it for him. Yes, he did. Goes all in for less. And Dealer Joy calling our current floor supervisor, Marian. But I think there's also an all-in and a call on the other side, on the other table. Let's see. Ace-9 suited for Dre Nicolas. Better than the ace-7 suited that Alexis Lim shoved with. Alexis Lim not in the danger of busting out, but Dre Nicolas for his tournament life. Alexis Lim flopping top pair but not flush draw for Dre Nicolas. Will he get it? Yes, he did. Not flush draw for Dre Nicolas despite Alexis Lim out flopping him.
350. 350.
And that's a big hit for Alexis Lim. He is now down to just over $1 million. Dre Nicolas, his patience paying off, now up to 860,000. Alexis Lim now down to 7 BB. Dre Nicolas improving to 10 BB, as you can see in the graphics in front of you. Dre Nicolas, the only remaining foreign player carrying on the French flag.
Ay, kasi sabi Dylan eh, parang dumapanood na kumukul ka.
Alexis Lim of Metro Team Pro taking a hit there. Now he's under the gun with 10 jack off. I don't think he's gonna. Well, I have been proven wrong in the past. Let's see.
All in. Alex, all in.
He decides to go all in again, back to back,
Dre, fold.
and
Fold.
the good thing for him is none of the players have something to call him with. So Alexis Lim recovers almost half of the chips that he sent towards Dre's way.
Wala rin massive dun eh.
So at this point, that's the dynamic because of the big blinds. Each pot that you take is 100,000. How much is the big blind? We're at 80. No, 200,000. 80, 80, and 40. So each pot that you're able, each dead money that you're able to get is equivalent to 200,000. So if you shove 10 times consecutively and no one looks you up, that's an easy, what's 200 times 10, 2 million.
200. Share fold.
Egoy Legatus folded to him at the dealer button, racing with 7-4 off. Alexis Lim contemplating on defending his big blind. Decent hand to defend with King 8 suited clubs. Or if he has a good read on the range of Egoy Legatus, he might opt to play this aggressively. He's trying to get a feel of what George Egoy Legatus raised at the button. But of course, this is Egoy Legatus. And if you know his gameplay, you'll know that he can race with absolutely any hand when action is folded to him at the dealer button. And he is sitting on 3.3 million in chips. We're inviting you to come to Metro Card Club tomorrow, Monday, not only to watch. And there you go, Alexis Lim deciding his King 8 suit is good enough to take down this spot, and he will, as it's a quick fold from Egoy Legatus. So Alexis Lim back again on the 1 million mark in terms of chip stack, recovering what he lost to Dre Nicolas. Tomorrow here at the Metro Card Club, Big Bounty, the last side event of the Metro Card 5 million guaranteed Christmas special. Joseph Sia liking that move of Alexis Lim, fellow Metro Team Pro Joseph Sia. Ray Nicolas letting go Sauce George Legatus. I think Chero De Leon will follow suit despite him being on the button.
Zero fold.
So action now between
Alex fold.
the two blinds. Alexis Lim doesn't like his 10-3 because he felt that Christopher Mateo is on a big hand with Ace Jack off. I'm sure Big Time Mateo is feeling disappointed. Nobody tried to take a stab at his big blind, especially as a hand that he can defend it with. And we see the other one, two, three, that's five. One, two, there's six. Yeah, so it's still 11 players.
George fold.
George Lagados, Jared De Leon, cut off. They will definitely raise this.
Total 200.
A raise of 200. Our current blinds, 40,000, 80,000, big blind only of 80,000. So 400 raise, a 200 raise. Dre Nicolas, Queen 10 suited. Let's see if his range will improve or expand now that he doubled up. But this is still relatively short stack compared to the other stack on the table. I hope he's not thinking of overplaying this hand because he'll be disappointed if ever to see that he is dominated by the ace queen of Chero de Leon.
Very call. Total 200.
And
Heads
Ray
up.
looks up. Chero de Leon, both players will see the flop now.
First up.
Dre Nicolas flopping an open-ended straight draw. This is something that he might go all in with. Yes, he did. And he might take down this pot with that, despite the fact that
280 total.
his hand is still dominated by Chero. But Chero missed the flop. And this is favoring the range of Dre Nicolas at the big blind. Although he is blocking uh, any combo, any Broadway combo of Dre Nicolas, which is actually what Dre Nicolas has right now. So if he reads Dre at that hand, he might muster a call here, which is very tough to do. He's also beating a flush draw, which could be enough reason for Dre Nicolas to shove with. But Jared De Leon opting to fold that hand that he opened with. And the recovery of Dre Nicolas continues. He is now up to 1.1 million from a low of just 300 plus earlier. You can see the other 6 players there at the background. I see Bart Sarbitos there, Edgar Asian still there,
Blind.
Ian Marcos still there, Zardi Potoy Rivera still there. Who's the other guy? As Jared Leon, another hand that he can open with.
200 total.
200 raise again from Chero with pocket 4. Alexis Lim, Ace Queen. This can be an action hand. I don't think Alexis will flat this. He might go all in. He might 3-bet shove. And yes, he did. He signaled to the dealer. He's all in. Big time Mateo folding his ace-10 suited. Ace-10 suited, a good hand to open the action with, not to call a 3-bet shove. And I don't think Chero will look up Alexis with pocket 4.
Share hold.
There you go. Very good job for Alexis Lim, bumping his stack to 1.5. Chero telling Alexis that he has pockets, and I think if Alexis will give a reply, it will be good fold. It's a good fold. Yeah, that's what he say. Yeah, good fold, good fold. So still 11 players. If you've just joined this live stream, this is just the featured table, not the final table. This is the main event of the 5 million guaranteed Christmas special here at Metro Card Club. We are down to 11 players playing until the final 8,
Big time race.
who will go
200
back
total.
tomorrow and resume the final table at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, together with the Big Blind Bounty, the last side event of this poker week here at the Metro. Big Blind Bounty awards 1,000 per bust out to the player. You can see the chip count graphics now. Big Time Mateo and Egoy Lagatus neck and neck as far as chip stack is concerned. Lagatus ahead only by 100,000 over what Christopher Big Time Mateo has in front of him. On the other table, I think it's still Sardi Potoy Rivera that's lording it over his table mates.
Big time race. 160 total. Very cold.
Big Time Mateo racing under the gun. Queen 8 suited. Ray Nicolas letting off his ace high card. Chera de Leon, ace queen. He might shove with his hand. He might 3-bet shove with his hand.
Share race. Share all in.
And that they did. Chera all in with ace queen off.
Calling all the following players for our new 2550 table. J. Ronald, David, Jason, Kim, and
I don't
Nico
see Big Time Mateo calling this
table
one,
11.
because that's gonna seriously dent his current stack.
Once again, calling all the following players
Or he
for our
might.
new 2550 table. J. Ronald, David, Jason, Kim, and Nico, please proceed to table 11.
So a quick look at the chip count right now of all remaining players. We'll double check that because Jess is signaling to me that that's not updated. All right, so quick update overall. Chip stack right now, I see Zardi Potoy Rivera on top of the chip count with 2.2 million, followed by George Egoy Lagatos with 2 million, Alexis Lim with 1.5, and Ian Marcos is at number 4. But let me I think we have to double check that because Christopher Mateo is at 2.9. I think we need to double check that info.
Hand per hand. Hand per hand na, mami. Hand per hand na kami.
Sino nakakuha? Ay, short string. Oh? Sino nakatama sa kanya malaki? Sobrang dami ko nung
Wait lang.
All right. I see the players looking.
Si Jose din.
Oh, they okay. I think we're hand per hand because a player bust out. Let's double check the bust out. Let's double check who busted out in the other table. All right, we just got word that there was a bust out in the other table because I hear Dealer Joy saying they're hand per hand now. Okay, this is hand per hand for the unofficial final table, which is 9 players. Let's see.
Raise total 180. Share hold.
So Edgar Asihan, we're just told that Edgar Asihan just exited the tournament at 11th place. So this is a disappointing news for the railers of Edgar Asihan. Edgar Asihan is out of the tournament at 11th place. So this is a bubble time with last 10 players. Bubble time for the unofficial final table of 9 because our final table will be 8 and we'll come back tomorrow.
Sir.
So, good game to you, Edgar Asihan. Of course, Edgar Asihan, our second APC runner-up to Mike Takayama. A champion of many battles. As we go back to the action, Alexis Lim at the dealer, poised to 3-bet again. George Egoy Lagatus, who opened with King 6 suited under the gun. Alexis has a good read right now, as it looks like, of what George has been racing with.
Next, Alex Ray.
And he puts in the 3 bets.
480.
3 bet is 480, 300,000 more. But Dre Nicolas with ace 10 suited clubs. Wow. But true to form, true to his gameplay, Dre Nicolas letting go of ace 10. He knows very well it's not a hand you want to call a 3 bet with, or you want to shove into a 3 bet with. And action is back to the original racer, George Egoy Lagatus, sitting at 2.9. He can look this up, he can make the call because his stack can absorb that. But it's still a tough decision holding just King 6 suited. What a read is being shown by Alexis Lim of George Egoy Lagatus' racing range. We see Ian Marcos checking the competition from the other table. Ian Marcos still live in this last 10 players. And Egoy Lagatus opting that prudence is the better part of valor. Let's go off his hand. 380 more. Alexis Lim, after getting hit by Dre Nicolas, is now back on top at third with 19 BB. Dre Nicolas still lording at the bottom. Jero De Leon now down to 17 BB. George Lagatos and Christopher Mateo still up in this table. So we are now officially hand per hand for the unofficial final table of 9.
Zero fold.
Cherry De Leon letting go of his 5-6. Suited. At the hijack position, cut off to Alexis Lim. We are not seeing his hand all cards right now. Maybe a glitch in the
Alex fold. Big time fold.
doesn't matter now as he folds to Dre Nicolas a small blind. I think he might give a walk to Egoy because if he
Very
flats,
fold. 80,000.
you might see an autumn. George Egoy Legatos opting to play this passively.
First off.
Jack 6 of suit. And this is a flop that Dre can probably shoved on. He did the same thing earlier when he flopped an open-ended straight draw.
80,000.
But he wanna play it safe now.
50,000. George fold.
Yes, he did. Because the difference is that this is a blind versus blind situation. And he wanna play it safe. Not like the earlier one, which is a race spot.
Hand per hand na to eh.
Big time Mateo. Longing for a break.
Hindi, hinihintay nila ako.
So hand per hand. Last 10 players. Hand per hand for the unofficial final table of 9. When we reach that point, all players will be combined here at our TV table.
Big time fold. Very fold. George fold.
Big time Mateo continues to lead this particular table with 2.9. All players keep glancing back at each other from the other table to this featured table. I see Eman Sigismundo still there, BJ Perez still there, Ian Marcos, Putoy Rivera, Bart Servito, combined with the 5 gentlemen here at the TV table. This is Chero De Leon, Metro Team Pros Alexis Lim, Christopher Big Time Mateo, player from France Dre Nicolas, and George Egoy Lagatus. Who will be the bubble to the final table? Who will return tomorrow as part of the final 8? We will find the answers to all those questions as we proceed with this action.
Okay na.
Big Time Mateo, pocket 9s under the gun,
160.
racing double the big blind. Action down to Chero De Leon. Chero with king queen off. Let's see if he will engage big time here. These two have engaged for a number of hands early this day. I was on the same table with them. We started day 3 on the same table. And I saw several hands that these two have engaged each other with. Chero have been very active ever since day 2 yesterday. Was on the same table also with him.
Total of
Players
480.
of table 90 is about your
480.
seats. Once
Yes.
again,
And
players
480.
Chero,
of table 90
three
are seats,
bets,
please.
big time
Alex fold.
to 480. Chero sitting on just under a million. Big time sitting on top of a 2.7
Big time all
million
in.
chip stack, and he just came back at Chero de Leon with a 4-bet shove. I don't think Chero will be able to call this one. He has shown, he has projected a big hand by 3-betting big time, but big time is saying not this time. Not this time.
Players of table 90 is about your seats.
Chero trying
Once
to
again, players of
get
table
a
90,
feel
your seats,
of
please.
what big time is sitting on, trying to engage his opponent to a banter. I don't see Chero calling this one. There you go. You can hear the banter by our super boom mic. Big time is saying you always put me on nothing. Chero, Chero saying I have a hand. I have a good hand. And big time countering, well, I have better.
Chero fold.
And there you go. Chero letting go of his hand. Chero letting go. And you will see later on when he watched the replay that he made a good fold. Short-handed table, pocket nines is very much ahead against an unmade hand. That hit brought down Chero de Leon to
90 days.
the bottom of the chip count with 19 BB. Still very much playable. And big time continues to add to his big stack.
Dre fold. George fold.
We're still hand per hand. Last 10 players, 5 each table, 2 tables. They are hand for the unofficial final table of 9.
Chero. All in. Alex fold.
Chero de Leon folded to him at the button, ace high, ace 5 off. Good enough to shove. Big time Mateo, queen 10,
Big time fold.
folding, showing his queen 10.
Ma'am, panoorin ko yung ginawa mo sa akin.
And players' activeness.
Pinapakita ni Trivet, di ko
You can see the percentages of the number of times that they have voluntarily put chips in the pot. It shows how active they have been in this table.
Hindi ko alam.
Action continues. Final 10 players. Metro 5 million guaranteed Christmas special. Pot over 5 million. champion goes home with 1,280,000. And at this point, with 10 players remaining,
Lalagay sa'yo din, Badgers.
these players are assured of a payout of 75,000 already. All 10 players assured of a 75,000 payout.
220. Big time po.
Sige na. Sige na, Paul.
All right. So, just a heads up to our viewers, we will continue to stream the action until we reach the final 8 players. But once we're advised by our technical team that once our table, the 2 tables are combined to one, which means we have 9 players only, or remaining 9 players, we will restream. We will have to cut this current stream and put up a new one. Put up a new one because we have to reset the modem. I think our stream is affecting the connection for the other players inside the Metro Card Club. So we're gonna put another link. So watch out. But we will do that once we take a break when we reach 9 players. I think there's action on the other table. That's why other players who are not in this hand are taking a look at the action on the other table. But this is an ongoing action between Dre Nicolas and Alexis Lim. Alexis raising 220,000 at the button. Dre Nicolas contemplating whether to defend his big blind with ace 7 suited. Blinds at 40,000, 80,000. Big blind ante of 80,000.
Yes.
Will the 220,000 raise be enough for Alexis Lim to take down this blinds, this dead money, so to speak?
Dre.
Yes, he did.
SB small blind.
So more chips being accumulated by Alexis Lim.
Ma'am, final table ang rollback ng ano? Rollback ng blinds. Ah, okay. Sakit na.
Chero De Leon asking our floor supervisor, Miss Mary Ann, if there will be a rollback of the blinds once we reach the final table.
Share po. Alex po.
Action folded to Christopher Mateo with the worst possible hand you can start with, but not too big time at the button with 3.3 million. The problem is he will try to steal the big blind of Egoy Lagatus, who has proven to be ready to engage him.
Halos sa level dapat.
Ever since the day started, these two have been bantering with each other. I think Big Time realizes that. Let's go of his Hummer. And Ray Nicolas will give a walk to George Lagatus. Bernie Angeles Shout out to Raymond de Guzman, who's watching us from the US.
Barok basit niya ako.
Raymond de Guzman with a shout back
Ano
to
sabihin ko?
Bernie Angeles. Thank you, gentlemen, for watching the live stream.
Marian,
Ano iniisip ko kaya
Dealer
tanggalin eh.
nakailang hand na daw.
May baraha.
Last na to, last.
So since we are on a hand per hand, each hand is allotted 2 minutes. So player asking whether it's time for a break.
Alex Gold.
As play is folded to Christopher Big Time Mateo at the cutoff with Queen 9 suited clubs. We'll probably see a raise from him.
Race 160.
Well, I don't think it's folded as I see chips in front of Chero. I think Chero limped at the.
George Gold.
Oh, Chero is the big blind. Okay. So quick fold from Chero de Leon.
Kinuha na yata si Yoda. Si Jakarta na dito.
Shout out for Nando Figueroa, Tristan J. Shout out to you, sir. Shout out also Sherwin Nino Bada, boss Sherwin. Shout out to you as well. Thank you for watching
Bagal naman.
our live stream.
Hindi na yata. Baka kinuha na si Yoda. Lines 50,000, 100,000.
So as announced by Joy, the blinds have increased. We are now at 50,000, 100,000, and a big blind ante of 100,000. There you go. Christopher Mateo, ace high on the first position after the big blind under the gun. Let's go of it. Doesn't want to play it. Egoy Lagatus, ace king suited, a definite raise from the button,
George race.
which might work for him because since he's sitting on the button, most probably player tends to put this on a steal. Unfortunately for him, the small blind and the big blind have hands that I don't think they will be willing to continue with. Although Alexis Lim is contemplating, he's thinking about it. He has successfully raced all of Georgia's earlier races. Let's see if we want to continue that trend. He's just sitting on 6-3 of suit. But yeah, thought against it. Folds to Egoy Lagatus. As we see a change of dealer, so it's dealer Jakarta now replacing dealer Joy in our featured table.
Jeremy pa rin to. Si Jeremy. Jeremy. Ay, Sir Jess.
Tak na, apat na ikot na pala ako.
Go na ako. Sir Jess. Ay, hand per hand. Wala pa nagsasabi.
Okay, action continues now on our featured table. Trey Nicolas, George Lagatus doesn't want to play their hands.
6-4.
Now down to Cherry De Leon at the button.
1-4.
As I see the arrival of the ever amiable VIP manager of Metro Card Club, Miss Geneva Rivera. Shout out to you, classmate. Papa Chups. And speaking of Papa Chups, once again, happy birthday. There you go. Happy birthday to Papa Chups himself, Christopher Chops Chua. Happy birthday to you, sir.
2 check, 3 check. River.
Ricky Singapan, shout out to Jojo Bay. Also shout out to Jose. Raymond de Guzman, shout out sa mga idol ko dyan. Lalo na si Boss Bernie Angeles.
3-4.
Shout out to poker player and Dota 1 extraordinary player Pau Coral, Papa Pau. Salamat sa napakarami mong ambag. Yan ay isang serbisyo lamang natin para sa, alam mo naman, ang gusto lang natin ay para sa kabutihan at ikauunlad ng manlalarong pokeristang Pilipino. Thank you for watching, sir. Egoy Lagados under the gun, suited connector, 6-7 hearts. Let's see if he wants to make something out of this hand. He doesn't want to, because he sensed that Chiero de Leon with Ace King offsuit is probably gonna
6-1 all in.
go all in on this hand. Alexis Lim 10-5, which is probably a quick fold from him, as well as Christopher Mateo and Dre Nicolas as well with 9-7. So Chero de Leon will take down 250,000 just like that, to bringing up to over $1 million in chip stack. Dre Nicolas was just down to 6 BB. Although I was in a conversation with another poker player the other day, and we were discussing, because I don't have the pen. I was trained to count the cost per round, including the small blind, and not just the big blind. Because if you see with Dre's stack, of I think about 700 plus, his cost per round should include the small blind. So that's 500. So that's 250 per round. And that's just an equivalent computation of just three, almost good for 3 rounds, 3 orbits. So let's see what he makes of it, as he is facing a race from Christopher Mateo with Queen 10 suited at the button. He doesn't know it yet, but his King Jack is actually ahead of that of Big Time, but he probably sensed that George Egoy Lagatus dominates both their hands, that of him and Christopher Mateo. And George calls the race. Big Time and Egoy once again involved in a pot heads up. This flop actually favors Egoy. He checks and Big Time checks behind. That ace changes things. That now favors Big Time. So we should see a bet
Black Benjamin,
from Big Time at this
Eva and
point.
Francis proceed to table 10.
162.
Big Time bets to 160. And Egoy gamely folds his hand. Doesn't want to turn it into a bluff. He doesn't want to risk his stack against the only person who can bust him out of this tournament. And that's Big Time Mateo. And players are rushing to the other table because we overheard that there's an all-in and a call situation there. So they want to find out. And from the looks of it, I think it's BJ Perez, the current Mega Stack, the fresh Mega Stack champion, who is busted out by Ian Marcos.
Start ko ulit, ma'am.
And BJ is exiting the tournament area. So I think BJ exits the tournament at 10th place. And at 10th place, he takes down with him 75,000 in prize money. So at this point, we are taking a break. And we are cutting, just for your information guys, we're cutting the stream. We will post a new link. So we will post a new link, so that just keep it here at the Facebook page of Metro Card Club. Anyway, we're fixing the final table. The two tables will be combined to one. We will still live stream the final 9. And we'll be back once we have reset. So watch out for our new link and we'll bring it to you in just a moment.